Pretty wooden boat here in Cuttyhunk Harbor. Such a neat place. This is part of Cuttyhunk Island. That's a nature preserve. Pretty high up you can see Pekinese Island closest to us, and then across the shore of Buzzards Bay to Massachusetts. A couple sailboats coming in. There's an oyster farm here, down in that tidal pool, and a monument. They're building a wind farm out offshore there. Looks like they're making some good progress. And Martha's Vineyard with the lighthouse winking at us. Lovely morning here in Cuttyhunk Harbor. It's just visiting one of the beaches, going to head across to the other side now. Off my feet a little bit. Over the rudder. And off we go. Beautiful little boat. And this one's pretty cool too. Classic yachts. Main wharf there. Fishing boats, some little shops and things. And the marina. Usually pretty quiet during the week. See all the moorings in the main harbor. We're actually anchored in the back now. We had a mooring for a few days when the remnants of Hurricane Debbie came through, just to be on the safe side. With the high winds, it's nice to have a mooring. The white building with the red roof and teal-colored doors dead ahead is the old Coast Guard building. Now retired from service, but used for the ferry dock and probably maintenance and other things. Always lots of comings and goings. A lot more crowded than it was a couple days ago when that storm was nearby. So this is a pretty good place to be in a below. It's safe from pretty much every wind direction, with only the small channel dead ahead open out, and even then that's nicely protected by the next island called Nashawina, private island. You can often see cattle grazing on it all the way down to the shore. I think they like the saltiness of the grass at the shore. Turn around to take a look at the island. They just reopened this fuel dock. It had been damaged a number of years ago by a storm. It's been rebuilt. Added the little house structure there, which now has groceries and things. Very nice facility. You can actually see a few boats that are on the moorings or anchored outside of the harbor. Just see the tops of the masts there. There are some 100-foot yachts out there last night. Looks like one's still there. Let me get out of the way. Looks like a sailboat wants to come to the dock. Luckily it's low tide, so I can actually go under the dock, which is kind of cool. myself lined up. Looks like the remnants of some old machinery there, or chain or something. This was used as a lookout during the Second World War. Yesterday I was up on the hills. You can see the old bunkers from World War II lookouts to keep our oceans safe. And this is the channel heading out of the harbor. This is Nashawina Island, another private island. I'm taking a kayak along the shore here. Lots of bird life. The water is incredibly clear. Really neat. Rockweed on the rock, of course. Green seagrass over there. This is called Canapisset Hole. I think it's a passageway between Nashawina and Cuttyhunk, which you can see Cuttyhunk there. It's very narrow, very rocky. I would go very slowly and carefully, or go up to Quick's Hole, which is a much better passageway. Some breaking waves out there. I'll stay away from those. I don't feel like trying to surf in a kayak. Beautiful day. You can tell it's very shallow ahead. I see the rockweed. Let's see if I can make my way through here to this nice little quiet cove. You can see some pretty good waves off to port there. Martha's Vineyard in the distance, beyond those breaking waves. Such clear water, it's beautiful. A little different from Long Island Sound, which tends to look like a cup of tea. Mostly from silt and things that come down the rivers. Cuttyhunk entrance channel. Weather is so beautiful, you're getting a lot of comings and goings, like this gorgeous Grand Banks. And Cito has a customer today. And this very large tug came in with a barge and a bunch of heavy equipment. The only way to get large trucks on and off the island. There's the inner harbor. And Blue Moon over there in the corner of the anchorage. We had some excitement last night with the boat ahead of us getting loose in a storm. Luckily they got it under control before they hit us. See the rose hips here, wild roses. The red fruit on them are called rose hips. You can make tea out of them. Lots of vitamin C. Taking a long walk down to the oyster farm ponds. After going through some very pretty woods. Here we are. I can hear the surf, so I know I'm getting close to the ocean. And there's the Atlantic Ocean. The remains of the lighthouse on the end and the monument. Yesterday I was up on the hills there, and you can see some platforms. Those are World War II lookouts and gun emplacements. It looks like I can't quite make it to the old lighthouse. Be a little too dangerous to try to ford that. These are the rows of where the oysters are growing. I don't remember who this memorial is to, but I'll try to look that up. Cuttyhunk has a lot of trails like this. Some paved roads, not a lot. Mostly golf carts to get around. It's very lovely to go walking. Wonder where that goes. Garden snake catching some rays. Probably feels good to him in the sun. A little warm for my blood. I'll try to go around him without disturbing him or her. Another pretty morning on Cuttyhunk. I'm at the entrance channel. The harbor was full last night, so I think these people are on the outside of the harbor and are coming in hoping to get a mooring for the night. We're still anchored out in the inner harbor. But some people prefer the stability of a mooring. Wow, that's a lovely cruiser with what's known as a canoe stern. Makes it ride the following waves better. Our boat has one as well. This is the breakwater at the entrance. Keeps the channel from silting. Looking out into Buzzards Bay now. And there's Cape Island in the distance there. And just barely see the other side of Buzzards Bay. The shore in Massachusetts. While I was walking along today, I found this nice whelk. Pretty shell. I think I'll put it back though and see if a hermit crab wants to make it a home. Rather rocky beach here. I'm always surprised at what I find. You can see these wild peas growing right out of the rocks with these pretty little purple flowers. And then this bright colored lichen. Really neat stuff. Some more over there. Very persistent. Some more interesting plants growing right out of the rocks here. Not sure what that is, but it's quite pretty. Rocky shore here, outside the harbor. See, the cormorants like to gather on the rocks. There's one drying its wings. Ducks don't have to do that, but cormorants do. I can't remember exactly why. Something to do with probably the amount of oils or something in their wings and flight patterns and such. Great blue heron just took off too, way in the distance. I'll go around these guys. Try not to disturb them. It's their home, not mine. It doesn't look like I succeeded. A lot of them are taking off anyway. Oh well. Unusually calm day here on Buzzards Bay. It's known for being pretty lumpy. And the first time I've been able to come out this way without getting bounced all around in my little kayak. Dark patch of water here is where all the seagrass is, versus the light patch, which is the sand, or this gold patch, which is rockweed. Rockweed is actually pretty interesting. It has these little air pouches so that it can float, keeping the stalks reaching up. I'm wondering if that has something to do so that it gets some photosynthesis from the sunlight, but that's just a guess. Looks like a little forest down there. That house has a beautiful view out onto Buzzards Bay. It's a very thin part of Cuttyhunk Island. And at one point the ocean washed right over it. So they put these old barges here to shore it up, and it seems to have worked. The barges are long, turned mostly to rust. The shoreline is still secure. You can see the town there. Looking out on the ocean. It's a little busy here in the Anchorage part of Cuttyhunk. There's Blue Moon. And it looks like a lot of the moorings are already taken. And it's just about noon. Oh, there's an empty one. Someone's just taking it. Heading out of Cuttyhunk. Oh, 700 hours. Good trawler day. Honey at the helm. Oh boy, can you smell low tide? Yikes.